Hello and welcome back to the Lapdown podcast. We're at the end of a triple header. Everybody's getting a little bit tired. We've gone bang, bang, bang. We're in Saudi Arabia now. It's the Jeddah Grand Prix, Jeddah Corniche Grand Prix this weekend. My name's Alex. I'm here with Dan, and we've got some Formula One to chat about for a little bit. Dan, how are you?
I'm good. We have a little bit of Formula One to chat about, don't we? There hasn't been much. So the actual starting grid this week is I kind of throw back to that US Grand Prix when all of the tyres blew up and only 6 cars started. So that's kind of where we are this week. But stay with us because the 6 cars that are there, they're very good. So as you said, cars. AB, we've got the Jeddah Corniche, which either sounds like a spin-off Rolls-Royce or a fantastic bit of cheese from the West Country.
Corniche, wonderful word.
It is great, isn't it?
Corniche,
unnecessary, I think.
But massively. But Corniche could be like an Aldi or Lidl Cornetto in the freezer, like a chocolate and vanilla Corniche 6-pack, £2.40 instead of £4, and you're thinking, I'll have a Corniche. Why not? Do you want a Corniche, Dan? Oh, should we have that? Should we have it's a Friday night. Should we have a Corniche? Let's have a Corniche.
Yeah, it could equally be a takeaway. Could be a takeaway. Ooh. The other thing as well that I think it could be, I realise I think it's a shell, isn't it? But it kind of feels like it could be like a Harrods version of like an egg and ham quiche.
Oh,
do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's just egg and ham.
This is our smoked Jeddah Corniche.
Exactly. But anyway, it could work. But we're talking about that. We're talking about the fact that it's pretty tough for rookies. We're going to talk about some odds for the World Drivers' Championship. We're going to talk about what McLaren can and can't do. And obviously, we've got the fantastic Wheel of Misfortune that is currently bending one over and having its way with me at the moment.
So I'm favouring one of us.
I'm hopeful that I might get a couple of good drivers this week. But where do you want to start, AB? Do you want to start with McLaren? Do you want to start with some odds? Or do you want to talk about just more posh pies?
I mean, always happy to talk about posh pies and like Indian takeaways. Triple headers. Just a little bit on triple headers. Do we really need triple headers? Because I like F1 racing a lot, and I like it when it's a race weekend. There's stuff on the telly, and I know I've got stuff to watch. I don't even go to the race weekends or do any driving or fix any cars or fly between these places, and I'm tired. And scheduling's hard. We've talked about this before. Can we not find a way to make the schedule work where we don't have to have triple headers? Double headers, fine. Trip skis? I don't know about a trip ski, particularly so early in the year.
Yeah. You could kind of see the logic, couldn't you, if all the Grand Prix were like side by side? But I think the fact they've gone from Japan to Bahrain over the course of, 3 days or 2 days even, it seems excessive and seems extreme. But yeah, probably is necessary if we're insistent on having this kind of month off in the middle of summer for some reason. I don't know why. That doesn't... I don't know. It doesn't feel like that carries much value anymore. I can only assume
the summer break is genuinely because otherwise they'd all just die.
But if you spread it out, you'd have a few more weeks off in the middle, wouldn't you?
That's absolutely. If you got 52 weeks in the year, you got to have a little bit of a break at the start and the end, I suppose.
Yeah, you have a longer winter.
Yeah,
I don't know. But anyway, I agree with you. I think it's a little bit. Well, probably the news headlines speak for themselves, don't they? There hasn't really been much happened, which either is because everybody is knackered, or the fact that they realise they've got some headlines that will write themselves this weekend, and then they can just save their gossip and things like that for the week after. Because the thing is, as well, is you roll this clock back 12 months, is everybody was talking about Hamilton going to Ferrari and what impact that was going to have on the driver market and where Sainz was going to go and whether they was going to go to Audi or what was happening with and who this new kid was and all this good stuff. And we don't have that now. So unless Max wants to just decide to jump ship until he's joining Aston or Merc in the next couple of hours, then we've got absolutely nothing. So, but McLaren have got some decisions to make.
They do. Well, they do.
Maybe.
I think McLaren have got 3 options at this point. They've got favour Lando and lock in on him. They've got favour Oscar and lock in on him.
Yeah.
Or just tell them they're in a battle royale and we're going hands off and we're closing the door and you hit each other and see what happens. Because I don't think they can go through the whole year. No, we don't know. Maybe you can flip and flop on one weekend to the other if you care about the Drivers' Championship, which they might not. They might not care about the drivers. They might just go, the money's in the constructors and we'll take the constructors. You got to pick a lane, I think, and you've got to lock it in instead of this softly, they're free to race sort of thing, but then you're going to issue team orders immediately after saying that, albeit I think we've agreed so far all their team orders have been correct situationally for the benefit of the team. But I don't know. It's tricky. It's a nice problem. It's a nice problem for them to have. I'll say that much.
I think I disagree with you.
Ooh.
I think they can just sit in the middle lane here. Just hog it. Hog the middle lane of the M25 and piss off everybody else around them. I don't think they have to choose because I think they're as it stands, I think they're so far ahead of their competition that the constructors, I think, is signed, sealed, delivered, and the trophy isn't going to leave Woking. So don't need to worry about that at all. I think all the while that the two of them play fair, which they have done across the course of the 4 races and the seasons in the build-up to this. Like, they've not been banging into one another, have they? And it may well come to that at some point during the course of this year. But all the while that it's clean, and all the while that they don't need to kind of get a little slap on the wrist because they've been naughty, I don't think McLaren need to do anything. And I think they can I don't even think they need to lock the door to let them scrap it out. I think they can just let them have it and just have fun and see what happens. And if they start bumping into one another, then there's a conversation to go, stop being dicks. But I do think we're going to be in for a bit of a ding-dong kind of, 7 points this way, 7 points that way, 7 points back this way, 7 points back that way. I think they're going to win the races. I can't see Max winning many more than the one that he's already won, to be completely honest, at the moment. No,
unless they suddenly find something, which I don't think they will find something, because if you believe... I understand the engine people and the aero people are different teams and different people and whatever. But if you believe a lot of the reports around at the minute that suggest that Mercedes have quite a jump on everyone else in terms of these 26 reg engines, I can't imagine Red Bull investing a huge amount of resource in trying to save this year as opposed to trying to get next year right. I think for all the talk of Max's manager is arguing with Helmut and he's going to look elsewhere and he might go to Aston and whatever. Absolutely, he might. I think his first choice is probably be, generational at Red Bull. I think. If I'm Max Verstappen, I think I would rather be a one-team man and then go off and do endurance or go off and just manage my own teams or whatever and just, drive into the sunset rather than become a little bit of a journeyman towards the end or chase the results or whatever. I mean, he said so many times he doesn't really need the challenge or... he's done it now, isn't he? He's finished F1. He's completed it. I don't see them catching up and overtaking. They might catch up and it might be closer. I can't see him catching up and overtaking.
What would you do then? If you were Zach Brown and in charge of McLaren Formula One, what would you do? And if you were to do one or the other, who would you favour? Or would you let them slog it out and see what happens?
Well, the bookies think it's dead even now, is the interesting point to bring up. They are both now, and I've used one betting website that I shan't name until they pay us money for it.
It's been thoroughly researched.
Absolutely. No, but the one that I've checked, they are even money in terms of they're paying 1-1 and they are even money with each other, and then it blows out to 10-1 Max Verstappen, 20-1, I think, George Russell.
Yeah.
So the bookies can't decide. And if the bookies can't decide, generally that's a pretty good indicator of where things are at because they have a lot of numbers boffins making a lot of, decisions. That said, I don't think they can pick one because at the start of the year, before we went racing in Australia, everyone said Lando Norris, I think, for the most part. Unless you were heavily Australian in Australia, I think you went, it's probably Lando Norris. And he's just not looked there this year so far. And Oscar's looked there. But I don't think Oscar's necessarily looked far enough forward to be a basket for carrying all of eggs. So, I think let them race. I think they are in a very fortunate position, I think, that they are going to win the Constructors and that they have got such clear air that they can afford to just... you know what, sod it. Don't take each other out and, that'll be fun. So I team let him race, I think.
Yeah.
I'm team let him race. I don't think they necessarily gain much by picking one, but I will say they do make their lives harder by not picking one, particularly when it comes to things like upgrades, which they are going to still have to bring some upgrades during the year. If you don't have even a grey area number one driver, are you flip-flopping? It's like, the order they go out in quali and stuff. Is it Lando's turn to get the new parts first now? Yeah. Is it Oscar's turn? Yeah. Are they picking? You start pit strategies. We talked about this before. It all gets muddy when you don't have a clear channel. That's the only downside. But apart from that, I think I'm on board with you. I think it's got to be let them race. And also as a viewer, fuck it, let them race. That'd be fun.
Because let them
battle.
So far, 2025 isn't really delivering as what we kind of hoped it would. So if we don't get a battle at the front, I think we're going to be left very disappointed about this season. Any other odds that you want to that excited you from the out of that? You went all the way down to 20-1 to George Russell, which seems like the biggest waste of a pound coin I've ever heard in my life.
Oh, you want to talk wastes of pound coins? I'll give you some ways to waste a pound coin.
Please.
Kimi Antonelli, 250-1 to win the Drivers' Championship.
That's an awful price.
Yep. You want to talk about awful prices? Yuki Tsunoda, 500-1.
Jeez.
Now, there are a lot of these kind of jokey bets, right, where you think that's worth a pound because you never know, right? And people put bets on now that at some point someone is going to do something and they get silly odds on them.
Yeah.
But at 500-1, Yuki Tsunoda to win in a car if this was peak Max domination or Red Bull domination era, okay, yeah. I get it. Yuki's not there as a driver, but he has the hardware that technically mean he could be there. But 500-1 is silly. And then we jump, notably. Who do you think is next on their list after Yuki Tsunoda?
500.
So we've gone from 500 and now we're stepping up to who?
I feel like there's an Alex Albon.
Alex Albon.
Is there?
Yep.
Have I got
Alex
that right?
Albon.
And I reckon he is 1,000-1.
2,000-1.
2,000. Thing is like there is no way that Formula One Drivers' World Championship falls anywhere outside of Norris, Piastri, and a sniffy little Max Verstappen that's just kind of clinging in there. And if McLaren start punching each other, then Verstappen could be there. Yeah. It's not going anywhere else. So who in their right mind is going to look at... Because if he's 2,000-1, what's Lance Stroll then? 5?
3.
Who's looking at 3,000? If that was 3 million to 1, I'm not convinced it'd be worth a pound.
So your 2,000 crew are Albon, Sainz, and Pierre Gasly. They're 2,000s.
What?
Yes, the fact that they're there, they turn up, they've got 4 wheels on the car.
We exist.
The rest of the drivers are all 3,000, which I would hazard a guess is possibly just this betting company that I won't name unless they'd like to sponsor us, lapdownpod@gmail.com. Then I assume that's maybe just their base price of this is not going to happen, but we'll offer you a market because if you'd like to give us a pound, you're welcome to give us a pound.
That's ridiculous.
3,000-1. Bortoletto, Alonso, Ocon, Hadjar, Doohan, Stroll, Lawson, Hulkenberg, and Behrman. What I will say, if I'm Fernando Alonso and I'm being put at the same price as Liam Lawson and Lance Stroll, I feel really bad about myself. Bloke's a world champion. But
2 times.
2 times. And yet, Bortoletto, 3,000-1 alongside Isaac Hadjar. But, yeah.
Wild.
It is wild. I think, yeah, you always have to give the reigning champion sort of semi-accessible odds. But it's not even smart money to bet on either Norris or Piastri at 1-1. At even money, what's the point? Like because they are a toss up. Just go play blackjack at that point. Like just go stick it on red
quicker, wouldn't it?
Like spin that wheel, knock it out a little bit.
You'd have either doubled your 100 quid or you'd have lost it. But you'd known that within 5 minutes. You wouldn't have to wait until kind of the start of December to figure out whether you've made £200 or not.
And in fairness, roulette wheel kind of sounds like these F1 cars. So like when it gets that little when it's giving it fucking beans going around, nice hard marble on a polished wood. Oh, Lovely down the back straight.
Wonderful.
We've got plenty of back straights this weekend.
We do. No, we've got a lot of corners, mate.
I mean, we've got 27 corners. Now,
so many corners.
Top of your head, is there a track with more than 27 corners on the calendar?
I guess not. But if you included every single tiny little wiggly bit on a circuit, then I guess there would be a few round somewhere like Silverstone, because that feels like quite a long circuit with some bends in it, doesn't it?
Here we go. How many corners do you think Silverstone has? Oh, no, that's only giving me the named corners. Oh, no, here we go. 18.
Rubbish.
There are 9 less corners at Silverstone than there are at the Corniche takeaway.
There was the ham and egg pie. There used to be a circuit back in the 50s. I think it was in Germany. It was like the Ada circuit or something, and it was along one of the autobahns. And it was quite literally up one side of the dual carriageway, 180-degree bend, back down the other side of the dual carriageway with a 180-degree bend. We've gone slightly through the Pokemon kind of evolution period here for the Ada circuit, and we've gone from a Squirtle, and this is going to test my knowledge, but whatever kind of happens in between the Squirtle and the
Wartortle.
That would do.
I don't have a girlfriend.
No, that's where we are. Anyway, right now, that is exactly where we are. We're just waiting for the next version of this, which apparently is going to be that one on the top of the skyscraper, isn't it? In a couple of however many years' time.
I can tell you, the Automobil Werkus und Urbanstraße had 4 corners. One of which was I don't really understand how they've labelled the corners here either, because as you say, it's just
literally up and back,
a skinny loop. But there's one corner at one end, which is a hairpin. But then their hairpin at the other end, they've somehow turned into being 3 corners because they've just put numbers midway around the hairpin.
Well, to be fair, that's what Jeddah's done. So
it's absolutely what Jeddah's done. I mean, there is a sequence. Turns 4 to 12. It's just madness.
No, it's quick though.
It's
very bloody quick as a circuit.
The Corniche, apart from being the Cornetto, it's very Saudi Arabian. I guarantee you they just wanted to have the most corners, and they probably looked at which track had the most corners currently. What's that, 26? What the hell? Well, we've got 27 and you can get fucked. That would be such a Saudi Arabian thing to do, isn't it? Of, we've got the most corners. Right, look at us go. My building's 2 inches taller than your building because I put a flag on the top of it, kind of business. It's quite a fun circuit, though, isn't it? Let's be honest. It's a fun circuit. It's a fast circuit. It's a bloody dangerous circuit as well.
It's intense. And everything that we've had there always just feels like something's going on. Do you remember there was wasn't there some form of attack on an oil refinery?
There was a missile that flew nearly over the track a couple of years ago. Yeah,
so that's there. Then I think last year it was cold, and I think people were sliding off all over the place because it was cold, and they haven't quite mastered. Well, I think they've mastered cloud seeding. They just haven't quite mastered temperature control yet with the weather boffins. But if you're this is what it is. We mentioned the Rookie Hunger Games. It's an absolute reckoning for the inexperienced Formula One drivers on the grid, because in the Grand Prix that we've had up to now, if you go off circuit, you might pick up a bit of gravel and chip kind of one of the carbon fiber side pods or something like that on your Formula One car. Or you might bump into a wall and one of the wishbones breaks and you kind of go, it's a couple of quid, don't worry about it. This is the place where your whole car falls apart. If you have an accident in Saudi Arabia, your budget goes from, I haven't costed the team a penny yet, to, oh shit, I owe them $1.8 million because my car is now spread across the entire state of Saudi Arabia. And we normally see rookies backwards into the wall at high speed, plus a bit of Lance Stroll. But I think it is a real kind of, Doohan, Bortoleto, Antonelli, Hadjar, Behrman, are they up to this? Or is there we've got a red flag in FP1 because there is a Haas backwards at turn 933 on the Corniche.
In Sector 2. It was Saudi last year where Behrman jumped in, wasn't it?
Yeah, he
in
did
that
well.
Ferrari and did well. So come on, my boy, this weekend is what I'll say. Yeah, it's absolutely a rookie Hunger Games this weekend. And it's almost harsh that it's early in the calendar. I know they've not factored that in at all, but they have. It's like the dude with the funny hair in that Hunger Games control booth is just going, I know what to fuck him up. Corniche! And press that button early doors. But come on then. Who's sticking it in the wall first this weekend? Someone's having a big off. Who is it?
Who is it? I'm putting my money. It sounds harsh, but geez, they say it doesn't rain when it's poor, but Lawson's going in the wall.
Oh, okay.
In an expensive way.
In an expensive way. Has he got runway to the end of the year, by the way? Sorry to bring the chat back to Willie Won't He with Liam Lawson. Do you reckon he's got to the end of the year? Because
literally no idea.
He's going backwards. He continues to go backwards. If he goes in the wall this weekend, he's backwards again.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a bad shout. I will keep going with my same idea previously about Liam Lawson, that I think he's probably trying to drive that car too hard at the minute, and that's probably not ideal for him. Yep. I'm going to go slightly left of field on this, and it's not off Corniche I'm going. And it's not because
don't go too far off. There's some walls around there.
I don't think it's because it's a skill issue for my one. I think there's a good chance it might be Antonelli.
Ooh,
not because of a skill issue, but because he... And almost... Overconfidence, again, is the wrong phrase. It's probably the best way I can describe it. He's having a wonderful rookie season so far. He is hanging onto the back of George Russell, who is sticking it really high up there, and he's coming quite quickly and look quite natural.
Don't take that out of context, will you?
There's a lot of phrases in this podcast that if you took them out of the contest, we'd be gone. I could just see him being on a little bit like a Max Verstappen-esque wonder lap. That was at Saudi as well, wasn't he? That quality lap where it was like, Jesus Christ, this is the fastest anyone can physically drive around this 6.5 miles. And then you go 0.5% too far in that pursuit of perfection. And like you said before, there's a wall there and you're in it. And all of a sudden your car is all the way over there and you're still sat there on the floor. And I wonder if there's a risk, we might see a purple wall kind of lap from Antonelli at some point, because it will be going wonderfully until it isn't. And it's not a skill issue. It's to use a Brundleism, a lack of adhesion because of too much ambition. I could just see that happening.
I like that. I'll buy it. But yeah, well, there we go. There's the Grand Prix. It's coming up, and it's going to happen quickly. But
should we see who's driving for us in it?
Yeah, let's have a look at the Wheel of Misfortune and see which form of driver is going to provide us with both a little bit of jeopardy over the course of the weekend. I think I get first, don't I, this time around?
I'm happy to give you first pick.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know whether there's a difference here. I'm not getting first pick. I'm getting first allocation.
Yes,
dump.
It's been provided to you.
Yeah,
right. Let's see what you've got. Let's see. You need papaya. You could do with a papaya this week, couldn't you? Here we go. He's going to get one as well. He's going to get one.
It's angling. Stop there. You stop there right now.
Oh, lucky boy.
Lando.
2 pixels into papaya.
Here we go.
I'm actually quite happy for you there, because the wheel has not been kind to you recently. And you needed the wheel to just be kind to you for once. So, you know what? Well done to you.
Thank you
for claiming Mr. Norris. Let's get him out of the wheel. Right. I need a banger now, relatively early doors, to match that. You've gone purple in the first sector. I need to match that.
Oh, okay.
Get up. He's my boy. He did all right last year. It's not matching you through the first sector, though.
Oh, I think I might have a slight advantage. I don't know. That's
Ollie
interesting.
Behrman.
That's interesting.
Maybe
Ollie
points.
Behrman.
Maybe low points.
Yeah.
There's an 8, 9, 10 potentially there with a wonder drive.
Could be wall.
Absolute chance of wall. 100%. Oh, look, I'm happy I've got my boy. I'm very big pro OB, right? So I'm happy with that. If I had to have a rookie, at least it's my rookie,
You've got to remember, you have a 32-point lead, which it could be taken. Keep going. Oh, you sneaky little wheel.
Have you replicated exactly what I had a couple of weeks ago with the old Norris-Verstappen combo?
Yeah, you had Verstappen and Norris at the Chinese Grand Prix, which it returned you 37 points, which if it did the same, I'd take the lead. But
Interesting.
it was 37 points that I think was under par.
Yes. So from my Chinese Grand Prix to your Chinese takeaways, you had a Corniche Grand Prix.
The Corniche.
You've taken the meal deal.
I love this wheel. I've always said how good this wheel is.
I clearly did too much whispering at the wheel to try and even things up because it's being far too kind to you.
Yeah.
Come on, look after me. Give me a not Hulk, not Liam.
Not a great place to end. Oh, there's a
Oh, this is a disaster.
there's a double DNF coming on here.
Oh, I might put like one in for me. Ollie might do okay. Liam's not going to put it anywhere. Now this is a swinger of a weekend. All of a sudden, there's a chance you come out of this leading the championship.
Genuinely a great chance. There's a first and third on the cards here.
That hurts. On this wheel as well, for those of you that aren't watching the video version, which you should because we're both very pretty men, but on this wheel, there's this, and they're randomly aligned, right? But you have a window where you have Russell, okay, Stroll's in there as well, but you go Russell, Piastri, Hamilton in a neat wedge. And then if you get out of that little safe zone, you head into the no man's land of Gasly, Hulkenberg, Lawson, Alonso, Hadjar, Ocon, Doohan. And then, okay, Yuki Tsunoda probably breaks that. But there's almost half of that pie that you don't want to be walking around in. And guess where I put my little walking shoes on and had a little trot through twice this week. Oh, boy. Okay, well.
That's tough.
That is
Do you have to pay for the damages if they put it in the wall?
Oh, we can't bring destructors into this as well. If we're doing that, you're losing points for Hulkenberg being illegal last weekend, so be careful.
But
Be careful. Oh, right. Well, the Corniche. Let's do it. Now, we should say as well, we will be back on Monday, post-Corniche, to break down all the cars that did break. And then we will have ourselves a little bit of a week off. But in the meantime, if you have any questions, lapdownpod@gmail.com. If you have any thoughts, lapdownpod@gmail.com. If you would like to send us abuse because I said Hamilton shouldn't have won Driver of the Day,
it's unbelievably racist.
go and fuck yourself at gmail.com. Different email address for that one. That one comes straight through to me. And at Dan Jads?
Yeah, if you'd like to. There's some things going on of various different bits and bobs, so I'll see you there. And are you streaming at the moment?
I am streaming at the moment. Hey, look, it's Alex on Twitch. You can come and watch me play some City Skylines. I didn't get to build my Lego F1 car because I got to step